on today is JJ. We've been friends probably like, what, 5 years? And he's the guy that goes to a restaurant and orders a pound.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Like
yeah,
a pound.
Filet mignon. Yeah. That's the kind of friend that he is. He's a really good friend.
He likes his meat.
He likes his meat. So that's why we became friends.
That's how you met. Perfect
Yeah,
story.
we met at the meat shop.
I created the dialogue for you.
Yeah, perfect. What year did you open? I think you opened the same year as I did, right?
Literally, I think we opened a week or 2 weeks before you did.
Because you were in the bartending
world. So I was in the hospitality industry for quite a while. I bartended for 7 years. So I had a big following that's been, supporting me since day one.
Yeah.
And I used to live in the area. And I always
Curry Ford, really?
Yeah, Curry Ford area, Conway area.
Okay.
And I just came across the space and I was like, F it. We're going to do it. We're going to go for it. I always admire, Chipotle's concept and the fast casual, make your own bowl concept. And I just thought, you
could make it healthier.
Right.
Were you in the healthier lifestyle then?
Yeah. So, we had a couple different options back then. We changed over the years, but that's how we started, a little bit healthier. And we went with Mexican and Middle Eastern. So now we are more Latin, Venezuelan, and Middle Eastern. So, we changed it throughout the years, just, what people were asking for.
Right.
And we just, that's how it came about.
So you started 14.
Yeah.
It's always been you and your mom.
Yes.
Right? Your mom's recipes.
My mom's recipes, yeah. So
you didn't know anything how to cook, right?
No, I just eat the food. That's pretty much it, yeah. But I'm a good critic.
I'm familiar with that. Yeah. So you started with your mom, and it was 14. You said you bartended for 7 years. So where did you bartend?
So I bartended at Ember. Southern Nights.
Sure.
I was all over
popular
downtown.
Places, yeah, downtown. You had a ton of friends because I know.
Yeah.
I scoured your Facebook and you have like
a lot of mutual friends.
A lot of mutual friends.
So, when I opened, when I first opened JJ's, everybody came and supported and people were checking in on Facebook. So that really helped. But your concept is more a lunch concept, right? Because at that time there wasn't Uber. Right.
So at that time it was more like you had to deliver, right, the lunch and create that business that way. Yeah, so when we first opened, I was there literally the whole time. So it was just about building that relationship with all the people that would come in and then getting repeat customers. But yeah, so we're mostly a lunch and an early dinner crowd. Like we don't have that much space in there, but it's we mostly do takeout. That's really our business. We do probably 65 takeout, 35 dine in. Do you?
And now with Uber, that's just skyrocketed. Yeah.
Yeah. During the pandemic, I hate ordering through Uber because I know that they have high rates, but I Ubered some of your food. And it was excellent.
Yeah, with Uber, they do take quite a percentage, but it does help with the exposure. We do get a lot of people that come in and, from Uber that said they tried out the food and they want to come in and check out the place. So I just look at it as a marketing fee.
I think we should go back to that. But, the history of the restaurant, obviously, is the fact that you decided you wanted to go into the restaurant business.
Yes.
You had no prior experience.
No. Not at all.
Not at all.
The only thing, I worked at OPA for a year. They're good friends of mine, but nothing like managing it. No, right. I just literally just went in for it.
So you had no advisors at that time?
No.
No.
Let's just see where this goes kind of thing,
Really?
Yeah.
How did you make that transition from, because the bartending business is so good. It's so lucrative, right?
Right.
It's every night you're taking cash home.
Right.
You have no responsibilities in that sense. You don't have to worry about his staff.
Right.
It's, you're making money. So how did you make that transition into the restaurant? You still bartended for a little bit.
Yeah, I still bartended. So I stopped bartending when I opened the second location, just because then I really, you know, had no time to do it. But yeah, when I first opened, I was doing both. I was bartending on the weekends, telling people to come check it out, and I was opening the restaurant the next day. So those, you know, first 3 years were just working overload. Yeah. But it's what it takes, you know. When you're first open and you don't have a known concept, you have to be there because you're the face of the restaurant. So people want to know who you are. People want to know, you know, your involvement in the community. So, but yeah, I just basically went for it, no experience, and just relied on everyone's support.
Okay, and you got it.
And I got it, which, you know, thank you, everybody, especially the Conway area. You guys have been fantastic.
Can you tell us some of the differences in terms of going from your first unit to your second unit? Because I think it's always very interesting, as I did. How long did it take you to get to your second unit?
So we opened our second unit in 2018. So it took me
4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the first 3 years, I think you kind of organized it, kind of figured out the system,
right?
Made it work.
Exactly.
Uber's coming in, right? Uber's coming in the 16.
I think 2017 is when they first came out with Uber Eats. Yeah.
So now your business is transitioning into a little bit more of the takeout mode.
Yes.
Still a lot of catering.
Catering, yes.
You opened your second location. Where was it?
It was in the Winter Park area towards Aloma.
Oh, that's right. That second location, yeah.
So opened that one, and the first thing you find out is it's not, you know, each location is different. It's like your own different babies.
Yeah.
And, you know,
it's like different kids.
Different kids, exactly.
Yeah.
And then you quickly realize that, you know, what you had in one location, sometimes trying to duplicate that to a second location doesn't work out. And then, of course, I did, you know, the smart thing and went for a third location, which we'll talk more about in a minute. But
your transition to the second location, you did exactly the same thing that you did in your first one.
Right, exactly. The only problem is that there was only one of me. You know, so trying to keep what you have and then try to establish something else, it was just it's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I went through it too, but what I'm saying is you like, how did you feel you had right away when you opened that second location, you know, like, did I do the right thing? Did I make the right decision? You start doubting yourself a lot because situations happen. You know?
So when we first opened the second location, I was static. I'm like, I'm a multi-unit group. You know, you're just super happy. You think you're doing the right thing, and then as time goes on, you start seeing things, and you start learning, you start experiencing things that, like, okay, well, when I had one unit, this wasn't happening, but now I have two. You know, it's double the staff, different clientele, different things that, you know, you can't advertise the same thing that you do in one location with the other one. So it was just a struggle, but, you know, I was willing to fight for it. And then
you leave your bartending job.
Yes.
Okay, and then right? Don't you like decide right away that you're gonna open your third? And I told you were nuts.
Pretty much, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so where was your third location?
Lake Mary, in the new development, where the 24-hour fitness is, where Lucky's was supposed to go. And that never happened. So
you were getting close to gyms. Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Yeah. You thought that the gym, kind of, you know, connection might work and bring people in your favor. Curry Ford does not have a gym close by, right?
No, there's a couple of local gyms, but nothing like, you know, like a 24-hour fitness or any big gym like that.
Your menu changed already. Started changing.
Yes.
Right. When did you start noticing that your menu needed a change?
Well, if I recall correctly.
No. Prior to that, your menu had changed, right?
Yes.
When you opened, I mean, obviously, like my menu changed every year,
Right.
and we tried to even change recipes on some of the stuff that wasn't working. Like my brisket when we opened was not the same brisket that we have today.
So basically, you know, just taking in people's feedback, and you know, when we first opened, it was a menu geared towards something that I like, something that I believed in, something that I thought people would, you know, would enjoy. But then obviously you come in with something, and then the feedback is completely different. So as time went on, we had to adjust. We had to change a couple things, and I think it just comes with the territory.
The flavor profile, people
Right,
wanted,
flavor profile,
yeah.
different items, things that weren't working out. We had lamb at some point, even though it was really good. A lot of people were not familiar with it. So, you know, it was just finding that sweet spot, which now at this point we are.
Right.
But back then, you know, we were still trying to figure it out.
And as you went into your third, you have more difficulties with staff.
Yes.
More difficulties with operations because now you have 3 stores in different areas and you have to travel a lot.
Exactly.
What did you think?
That was hard. I was I was running on fumes at that time. You know, I opened the 3rd location. I even moved to Lake Mary to try to get that off and running. And it was too much. You know, the driving and trying to stop it in, you know, all the stores. And I had 35, 40 team members. And I was the one meeting with them. I was the one doing, you know, weekly meetings and doing the scheduling and talking to distributors. And even though my family tried to help as much as they can, they didn't really understand the business because I was managing that aspect. So now trying to manage 3 stores, it was too much.
The people,
The
business,
distributors, you know, trying to handle the marketing and the complaints, and it was just.
When does your brother join?
He joins in 2018.
So when you open that 3rd one,
The
exactly. Second one, or
the 3rd one. When I was in the middle of opening the 3rd one, he joined the 2nd location.
So how did you plan that dynamic? Because I mean, I work with my sister. She's my bookkeeper and basically my financial advisor, I would say. Right. And then my dad is another advisor. So it's like, how do you work?
So he's
the family dynamic, right?
We all know our lane. We all understand, you know, or.
Well, I don't know. Does your mom know her lane? Well, my dad doesn't know his lane.
No, I mean, let's be honest. No,
I don't know what lane. I don't know what lane my dad is in. Sometimes,
well, yeah, no, you know, you tell them they're old school. You tell them one thing, and then they say okay, and then they go and do something else. You know, but she's around the staff all the time, and people know who she is now. Sure. So it's just a little tough, but.
Yeah, but she's super nice.
Right, exactly. Once you get to know her, then she's a sweetheart. No, we just work well in the things that, you know, he's very meticulous. He's very careful about certain things. He pays attention to little details, because sometimes I don't do that because I'm looking at the bigger picture. So you need someone that compliments you, and he does that very well.
So family's involved. Family dynamic is good.
Yes.
How were your sales in the 2 new stores? I mean, your sales in the first one were pretty consistent.
Yes.
Sales in the 2nd and 3rd one did not react the same.
So the 2nd location, it was getting there, but it wasn't what I expected. And then the 3rd one, you know, we were the only restaurant open in there, and there was nothing in there that was, you know, available yet. So, yeah, it was tough. You know, the one thing I learned is that you need massive reserves when you're trying to expand.
Yeah.
And I didn't have those, you know. So, yeah, it was tough. The sales were not there. The overhead was just a lot, too, in those other 2 locations. So Quarry 4 was pretty much feeding the whole operation.
Yeah, and a thing called Fun Bucks. We joke with me and JJ.
Fun Bucks,
me and JJ joke about this, but Fun Bucks helps sometimes.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I remember all the calls we used to have. Like, man, this is a tough month. Like, what are we doing? You know.
I mean, I obviously I have the Mills operation, and at that point I had Lake Nona, and I was like, man, this. You know, there was some tough months there.
Yeah, and it was sad for me just because, you know, you see like your one store is doing so well, but then all of that is just going to try to take care of the other stores, and it was just like, damn, you know, it was tough. I remember those phone calls when you would tell me like, hey, this is what you want to do, like toughen it up, Cookie, let's go.
Yeah, I think at one point I even said, I'll buy you. You want to get out, I'll buy you. Yeah. I'm known for that, by the way. I'll buy anybody.
Yeah.
I'll buy everything's for sale, and I'll buy anybody.
Everything has a price, that's for sure.
That's right. I mean, I'll tell you, I mean, then obviously when 2020 rolls around, shit changed.
Yeah.
Right?
That was insane.
So you still have Lake Mary open.
I had Lake Mary open.
It's been Winter Park.
Yes.
COVID hits.
What
happens? I think, did we talk, I think, those first days?
No, I think, honestly, I think we talked after the fact. And I think as soon as COVID started making its way to the States, I was like, that's it. I'm closing. I don't know how long this is going to last. I don't know what's going to happen. This could take a couple weeks, months, years. And, you know, here we are. So at that point, I just made the decision, and I closed Lake Mary first.
When did you close Lake Mary?
Probably right before quarantine. Those 2 weeks that it was a week or two. I don't remember.
It was a week in.
Yeah, where people couldn't, you know, get out. So prior to that, I closed that one. And then when quarantine hit, we closed the Winter Park store, and that was it.
I mean, you had to.
Yeah,
right?
at that point, like, there's just no way that I was going to be able to sustain, you know.
Well, no, you're seeing the cash flow.
Right.
I mean, here we go, guys.
Yeah, exactly. And then with COVID, people weren't going out. So it was just one of those where, there's no way.
And your business heavily relied on that lunch catering business.
Catering. And now, you know, that was our bread and butter. And now with medical offices closed and, you know, no large groups out there to cater to, we had
that was
to,
hard.
That was really tough.
But I think you made the right decision because you had expanded a little bit too quick.
Yes, absolutely.
You made mistakes there.
Yeah, so definitely it was a learning experience.
I always told you, you're not in a bad position right now, man. Let's get out early.
Yeah, it was one of those that, you know, that was the way out. And thankfully, you know, we're able to come out okay.
You came out unscathed, kind of like, because you transferred, you know, the debt that you had to your store, and that's it.
Exactly.
That little debt that you had, I was like, man, you have nothing.
Yeah. So
let me tell you about my problems.
Every time we would talk about the problems, it would always make me feel better. It's like, man, you have nothing to worry about. Like, look at me. So thank you for that. I needed it at times.
Yeah, I had bigger problems. I also gave him shit about his food.
Which we'll get into now.
Yeah, I guess we should get into it. I guess it's like I come from the school of people like eating heavy when they're out, right?
Yes.
They like eating, I don't want to say shitty, but they're not following their diet if they're going to go eat out.
Right.
And I kept saying your food's good, but it's not craveable.
Right.
So what are you going to do about it? And what did you decide to do?
So that's
you did it all by yourself. I'm not taking any fucking credit for this. All I'm saying is I said it.
No, but you've always been, you know, a big brother in the industry to me. You know, always, you know, very honest, very clear about,
a little bit
you
too
know,
honest.
the feedback. Yeah, which I appreciate. And obviously, when we closed the other two stores, we decided to, okay, well, what are we going to do to make Curry 4 better? Right. So that's when we remodeled, that's when we rebranded, that's when we pretty much changed a bunch of our menu items, and the feedback's just been crazy. Yeah,
I love your food.
Yeah,
and
it's really
I love it. The change I thought was really good. I mean, the menu items changed from being healthy to a little bit fatty, but
that
shit tastes
let me tell you,
bomb.
it does taste a lot better.
The
quality,
it tastes a lot
I'll
better.
say it's just you crave
have to start. Yeah, you have to start from the basics. I mean, like, for example, you start doing this chicken on You started using chicken. You were against using chicken thighs.
Yes.
And I kept saying you can't keep using chicken breasts. It tastes. It had no taste.
I remember.
You don't use chicken thighs now.
No, so we use chicken thigh for one of our pulled options, the pulled chicken.
Sure.
But then now we transition from putting the chicken on the line, and now we use it as a skewer. So now we grill it, and it's super fresh. Yeah,
super fresh. Tastes really good. So I think that transition helped a lot.
Yes.
And you did it during COVID?
During COVID, during the quarantine. So we decided, you know, let's close the 2 stores. Let's focus on what we have right now. How can we make it better? How can we improve? And that's what we did.
So, and you did a great job at it. Then your store during COVID changed into what, 80% delivery or takeout?
Oh, it was definitely, I mean, it was all takeout.
It was all takeout.
It was all takeout.
You
Uber, yeah, online ordering.
Do you think that helped you survive?
Yes, absolutely.
I think a lot of people don't get the fact that restaurants, I mean, everybody thinks like, oh yeah, you have like 6 months in reserves.
It's like, no.
The bank called me yesterday. He's like, so how much do you have in reserves right now? Yeah, I mean, I think I have 6 months, but I don't know. This thing can start just taking the money in and.
Yeah. Well, back then we were definitely on
the worst. Yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
We had no reserves.
I had maybe a month.
Yeah, if
maybe a month or 2. Like I had, because I had just bought my partner out. So like for me, I was in a cash situation all of 19, just making it up because I had invested so much in buying my partner out. So
thank God for Fun Box.
Fun Box, bro. Fun Box.
I'm telling you, 10 years on the road, we're definitely gonna laugh at that.
I'm laughing at it right now.
We're laughing now, but you know. It's just one of those things that we would just, if you didn't laugh, you cried. So
yeah. I want to hit on something before we hit on personal life. I think is Uber, man. Like you talked about it being like a marketing arm for you.
Yeah.
Yesterday I was reading an article. The CEO of Darden came out, kind of guns blazing, mad about the fact that they don't do third party. And he's saying, you know, we're protecting our bottom line. And I'm a big believer in protecting bottom line. But you think that it works for you.
Right. So I think for certain concepts, it works beautifully. But there's certain concepts where, you know, the food cost might be more, the staffing. It's just it's all about margins, you know, like you've always taught me. But with our concept, it makes sense. So we keep doing it, and it does provide a huge marketing value. So
does it?
Yeah, and we're able to make the food so fast. You know, someone can literally order a bowl, and we can make it
3 to 5 minutes. Yeah, you're ready
3
to
to 5 minutes, and it's ready to go. So we have a fast turnaround. So that does help us.
So you need volume, is what you're saying.
Exactly. So we're more of a volume kind of place.
Do you think? And this is just a thought, and I think we've discussed this. The fact that your store is in Curry Ford, do you think you placing the store in a different location that's a little bit more like mainstream? Let's say you placed it in Mills.
Right.
What do you think your sales would be different?
You know, that's a tough question.
Well, because there's the cloud kitchen thing going on and all that. So do you think even if we placed it in like prime location, your sales would be different than, let's say, the Curry Ford?
I mean, you could say so. But with Uber now, they do go, you know, they go pretty far. They go out to Winter Park. They go out certain mileage, you know, that I didn't even know that they went out to. But honestly, I wouldn't trade Curry Ford just because it's been a staple there for so long now.
It's your original, but I'm just saying, like, I think you're focused on Uber so much because it's what helped you through the pandemic.
Yes.
Now expanding possibly the concept, and we'll talk about that. Do you consider that Uber is going to be your business model? And
later on,
yeah,
I think so. I think now more fast casual restaurants are trying to get away from the dining aspect of it and more takeout, drive-through.
Sure.
I mean, you're seeing all the giants coming out with a drive-through and getting rid of that dine-in space because it's really not necessary, at least for our type of concept, you know.
Sure. I guess I'm the old school guy over here saying,
well, no,
I'm not doing Uber. I get an email every week.
Your kitchen would burn if you had Uber.
I think I would lose all my staff.
Yeah.
They would be so mad.
That would be, you can barely hold on as it is right now.
Man, like,
imagine adding Uber to it.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we don't answer the phone, and we don't have online ordering.
I couldn't imagine.
So I mean, and we still have timing issues.
Yeah.
It's different. Yeah, it's different. It's a different concept. Yeah, no. Same with pizza. Like we were talking about it yesterday, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing third party. I'm not doing delivery. If you want a pizza, come pick it up. Because I think people don't understand about this timing issue. For you, there's no timing issue.
Right. Because it's just
you're making bowls, right?
Exactly.
So the same with Chipotle. Well, now Chipotle has an extra line just for takeout.
Just for takeout, yep.
Just to make those takeout things and extra employees and all that, you know. But they're working through volume,
right?
And their contract probably is outrageous.
I can even imagine
with the third parties.
Yeah.
I want to touch a little bit on your personal life.
Yeah.
You've always been into fitness.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, for the most part.
I was the fat ass. You were the guy that was always in shape.
Yeah, something like that.
Right. So then all of a sudden, when did you decide to really go for it in terms of fitness? This past year?
This past year.
Yeah.
You know, when I had the 3 locations, it was just no way. I had no time. I was sleeping 4 or 5 hours. And I told my coach, he's like, Coach, I can't. Like, I know recovery is, you know, huge in this, but I'm not even sleeping. I'm super stressed out. So, you know, when we closed the stores and probably, you know, when gyms opened back up, that's when I really started focusing and just, you know, I made it a goal to compete for the first time. So,
yeah, you're gonna compete in the Type Hope Classic.
Yeah,
Type Hope is my coach, but yeah, he has a really, I guess, cool competition that I'm sponsoring.
Yeah,
I don't even know what we have to do for it, but we're gonna figure it out.
Just bring barbecue.
Right.
We're gonna eat it after the competition.
Jenna knows. Dory over here doesn't know, but Jenna does.
Bring some
shout out to Jenna. Yeah.
Bring some meat, please. We're
gonna
we're gonna need.
Everybody's gonna want to eat. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you decide to do this. This is really, and I mean, I think I've put everybody in my program.
Yes.
Because I think it's something that's really important. But what do you think has brought you more? And I say this because obviously I was trying to figure out myself in the same situation, sort of like I closed the store and I'm like really frustrated. I was frustrated with my weight. I wasn't taking care of my personal life.
Right. So
what do you think it brought you in terms of difference, you know, in a personal aspect? It brought you discipline, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You went a little bit more hardcore. I go out to restaurants.
Yeah, no. So, you know, when I picked the competition that I was going to go in, I told my coach, and then we set up a prep, and ever since then, I've been pretty much in the cave.
Yeah, you haven't been out to a restaurant in 6 months.
I know.
Right?
I didn't do anything for my birthday. You know, usually we go every year.
We were going to have steaks. He said no.
Yeah, but, you know, it's just I'm very focused, and I want to win this thing. So, but, it brings me accountability, you know, because I have a coach. It brings me a lot of discipline. It allows me to stay out of trouble too, just because I'm not out there. So I love it. You know, it's a lifestyle, and I just, I love being healthy.
How do you think people adjust to it though? Because a lot of people don't like the fact that you're, I get pissed that you maybe don't want to go out.
Yeah, I know.
Like, be social.
I usually just tell friends, like, hey, just come over, let's meet for coffee. You know, as boring as that sounds, it's really important for me to...
You haven't invited me over, dickhead. I know the type of friend I am. This is the kind of friends you're inviting over? No, I'm joking. But I think more importantly, that brought you discipline, and that brought you something that we all miss in the business, and I always talk about accountability.
Right.
It's the same thing with me, you know, signing up with this coach. The fact that I'm accountable to somebody every week.
Yeah.
And he's checking on me, and he's telling me, you know, you're doing good, you're doing bad. Don't bring me another bad number next week. This is typically what you hear from my coach.
Right.
Has that changed, or has that translated into your business life?
Yes, it does. It definitely teaches you a lot of, you know, timing, how to be disciplined. You have to be organized, especially with, you know, with prep. You have to make the meals. You have to, you know, go to the gym in the morning, go to the gym at night. So you have to organize yourself, and it does teach you a lot of discipline with the restaurant and when you're dealing with the staff, and it just gives you a different perspective.
It does.
You know, so when you're so laser focused, it's just you focus on the, you know, the things that do matter, and it's really helped me with that.
So do your staff, and I tell you this because I've been through it and I talk about it all the time, is just, do your staff want structure, but they don't want the structure that you give them specifically?
Oh, man.
So, like, they always ask me for...
You know, it's
everybody asks me for structure. Oh, you're not like, can you give us structure? Can you give us structure? Then I give them structure, and they're like, no, I don't want it that way.
I'm telling you, it's like that meme where it says, you know, who wants change? And then everybody raises their hand, and then who wants to change? And then no one raises their hand. Is that, you know, is that thing that you can have a perfect structure. I'm not saying that we have that, but, you know, you could lay it out as much possible in detail, and there's still going to be something that, you know, oh, we don't like doing this, or we don't like that, or we don't agree with this. And it's just, you know, it's that constant going back and forth that at what point does, you know, the team member take accountability for, okay, I need to be better, I need to do something different. But, you know, I feel like that's an ongoing battle.
Well, I even see it in the check-ins. Like when I go check-in, for example, these are people that signed up because they want to make a change.
Right.
They supposedly want it, and then all of a sudden they go check in and they're like frustrated that they didn't hit a number.
Right.
And then when the coach asked them, like, what's going on? Oh, I've been doing the diet, or I've been doing the exercise. And you're like, no, you haven't.
Right. Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. Yeah.
You know, it's just, I mean, it's hard, but, you know, you can pick your heart. You can either stay out of shape, which is hard, you know, have health issues later on, or you can work it out, you know, work on it now, which is hard too, but, you know, it gives you better results. Sometimes people forget about that. You know, like, it's hard to be out of shape.
That's a good I guess, whatever you want to call it. It's good that you say that, because people don't understand that fact. I think a lot of people that listen to the podcast tell me about the fact that they want to open businesses, and, you know, it's a resourceful thing, but I keep repeating to them, hey, it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of, you're giving up a lot of stuff.
Yes, you do. You sacrifice a lot of stuff with the hope that it's going to work out.
Right.
You know?
So you feel that the last 6 months you've sacrificed what?
A lot, you know. I love food. So not being able to go out and eat a 1 pound filet like we talk about, or going to Hillstone, or socializing with friends, or just, you know, doing regular things, doing, you know,
your regular life. Yeah.
Right. So, but I know that the sacrifice is going to pay off. So, you know, that's why I do it. I believe in delayed gratification instead of the short term. And I know that, you know, if I keep focused and I keep doing what I need to do, there's going to be a reward at the end.
Sure.
Just can't fall into the trap of, you know, rewarding myself every little bit.
So we're in 2021. I want to shoot you this comment that I remember asking you about, or I remember saying this to you. I said, do you want to be in the restaurant business? And if you don't want to be in the restaurant business, sell me your business, because I want to be in the restaurant business.
Right.
Where do you sit on that topic today?
So I'll say this.
Be for real. Like,
I'm being for real. I love JJ's. It definitely opened the door for a lot of things that I wanted to do. But as far as wanting to expand or continue on this path, it would have to be under a different dynamic. I would have to either go in with someone. I love investing. I love giving ideas, or a franchise model. But trying to expand on my own or trying to be, day in and day out on the daily operations, that's not something that
it's not you don't like that.
I don't like that. It's being in the industry for so long, it's not something that I enjoy. It took a lot of my life. It took a lot of 7 years out of me, which I don't regret, but I did sacrifice a lot. And it's just I'm into other things right now, different ventures, different things that I want to like. You're
more into the real estate, right?
Right, the real estate and just different opportunities, that might pop up. Also,
so you think that COVID hit and all these changes obviously brought in a little bit more perspective into what you wanted to continue on in life. I mean, you're younger than me, right? I'm 37. You're 30.
31.
31.
31.
Right.
It is 31.
So I think it's a perfect timing for you to make. If you're gonna make a change, it is the time to make a change.
Yeah, exactly. Now with the 2 stores being closed, I had a chance to sit down and decide, okay, what it is that I wanted to do. And one of the things that I wanted, was fitness. It's just I never really had the time for it. With the restaurant, it's
you never have the time.
You never have time for it. So
it's hard.
I'm definitely enjoying this now.
Okay, so fitness, real estate, opportunities. There's no way. I guess maybe I'll just take on the expansion of your concept.
Yeah,
I should just do it.
I do. I honestly think it's a great concept.
I just need more on my plate. Guys, we just need more. Okay.
Open pizza first, and then we'll talk.
I mean, yesterday a friend of mine came by and talked to me about his concept. I'm like, let's go. I'm taking it over. Fuck it. I want to do that too.
You love it's you. It's what you breathe it.
It's not that, man. It's just that I sat down. I think I've told you this, but I sat down in June and I was depressed and I was frustrated and my life, like even my personal life was shit. And I've dedicated so much to this and I've put so much aside to be able to run Pig Floyd's and to grow. And you get to a point that you're like, should I be doing this?
Am I enjoying this?
Enjoying this? I just had a failure. You feel like a failure.
Yeah.
I remember fitness-wise, I was 290 pounds, and I was like, not only am I doing bad in one area of my life, I'm also doing bad in my personal life and not taking care of myself.
I know the feeling,
right?
Yeah.
And then August rolled around, and I remember I ran, out of the month, I ran 29 days, and I put it on a calendar, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to lose weight. I didn't lose a damn fucking pound. And I lost it, man. Like, I celebrated my birthday. You didn't go to my birthday. Yeah, you did. You went to the cigar shop.
Yeah,
oh no, you went to eat. You went to eat. You went to eat. Dory.
You don't even remember.
No. You went to eat.
Yeah,
right?
we went to Linda's and then we went to.
No, we didn't. We did Linda's.
You did 2 meals. You went to.
Oh, we went to Eddie V's. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for remembering. Vic, to my birthday. Yeah. We went to Linda's and we went to shut the fuck up. You made it nowhere. We went to Linda's and Eddie V's and we it was great.
Corona,
it was the best birthday I've ever had.
It was
thanks
so much
to
fun.
Gretchen and to Jenna. They did it. I don't know who takes more responsibility in that, but they love birthdays. It's good to have somebody to organize your stuff.
We have a good event coordinator.
That's what we have, I guess. So tell me a little bit more about what you're doing in real estate, if we can touch on that. No?
Yeah. I mean, right now there's not much going on with the market being so crazy, but I was doing flips, investing in that. Mm-hmm. And now I'm looking at buying properties and renting them out, short-term rentals.
Yeah. And I think that business is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little easier than the restaurant business.
Yeah, you know, and the main thing is that it provides freedom. I don't have to be there, you know, and that's what I'm looking at right now. Just because I feel like I've been so deprived the past pretty much my whole life. You know, ever since I started working, I haven't really traveled much.
Did you start working early in your life?
Yeah. Yeah, 18? I started, earlier than that, you know, helping my mom. Like we had, so nobody knows this, but we had a little food business before that.
You did?
Where we would, we would go deliver lunches to offices.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been helping her since probably 15.
Okay, so she's been doing that for a long time.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, she doesn't like cooking. I know, that's the crazy thing. But
why did she go into it then? Just she's needed
good
some
at
money.
It.
She's good at it.
She's good at it, you know, and she knows how to cook. She knows how to, you know,
Your mom's pretty structured, though.
Yeah.
Your mom is super structured.
Yes.
I think that's where you get it. You're hungry for that.
Yeah. And, you know, she's like my best friend.
We fucking have daddy and mommy issues here, guys. Like, if you don't have daddy and mommy issues and you don't discuss it out loud, then here we go, okay? Because we're openly discussing this shit.
Like I said.
No, it's just like my dad. My dad's super structured. I mean, he came in here with, like, note cards. Yeah, note cards. And even when he started, you know, whatever, waterworks, he even had his own, you know, napkins, tissues, yeah.
But, I mean, honestly, when we opened, I was 24. So having that support is just like, it's nice. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, she's going to do whatever it takes to make sure that, you know, that we're good. So, you know, back then, that was huge.
Yeah, because you weren't focused.
Right.
You were in a relationship.
I was in a relationship, and I was bartending.
You were bartending.
Yeah.
How did you make that work, dude?
I barely slept. It was crazy.
Fudge.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Gabriel and Vanessa, I said fudge, by the way. There's no kids around, but I did still say fudge. I say it sometimes. Yeah, because, I mean, I sleep 5 hours. Now I'm sleeping a little bit more, but
yeah, you have to, especially when
man, like I'm training and all that. I'm tired all the time. Like,
yeah, I know.
But it's so weird.
I know.
So I don't want to say you're out of the restaurant business, but that's not your prime focus.
No,
right?
Not right now. I'm trying to look at other ways that we can grow.
Generate,
yeah, exactly.
You wouldn't open another concept? You don't have another concept in your brain? You just
another concept. I would love to with someone else. Someone, you know, someone.
My name is Thomas. 6'7". I would like 6'7". Yeah.
I'm open to the idea, you know, but having the sole responsibility is just something that I don't want to do anymore. So
what do you not? So I don't want to do this as an exit interview, but what do you think the restaurant business has taught you? How about that?
Wow. How long do we have?
We have 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes to talk. What the restaurant business has taught you? Like, what do you think the restaurant business teaches people? And don't say, I'm talking about like from an employee standpoint, not an owner standpoint. I think more than anything, because you were an employee.
Right.
Like a glorified employee at the beginning.
Right.
We all are.
Yeah, pretty much.
Still to this day, the other day I cleaned the bathroom, but.
No, you know, it definitely teaches you on how to be a leader. That's when I first came into it, obviously you think you're doing the right thing. You don't know how to manage people, but if the one valuable thing that I really take with me is just, you know, looking at different perspectives from different team members. You know, they all do what they do for a certain reason. Mm-hmm. And I've always thought that you have to step in their shoes to understand why they're doing it and to be able to get to them. And before I didn't have that, you know, I was able to talk to people, but I wasn't able to connect with them on that level from, hey, I know I'm your leader, and you're following my example, but why are you doing this? Why are you messing up? What's wrong? And I feel like when you have that connection with the team, that really, you know, it makes a difference. And I believe in keeping staff. I don't like losing staff. Mm-hmm. And if, you know, if they quit, I want it to be because they move or they want something different career path. But I don't want it to be because of, you know, the culture or because of something that I did.
Because of you.
You know, which hey, I was an asshole back then. I used to get really frustrated. I used to be, you know, I used to yell when things would go wrong. But it definitely taught me that, you know, there's a right way to manage and there's a right way to lead, which I believe is better, and a wrong way to do it. So that definitely, I'm taking that with me wherever I go.
Well, it's a people's business.
Yes,
and you have to deal with people.
You have to, you know,
all the time.
Right.
It's not even about the product almost,
right?
Because it's just like,
yeah, because with the product, you know, once you get the recipes down and you're able to teach it, you know, that the food's going to be, you know, 9 times out of 10, right? It's going to be pretty consistent. But if you don't learn the people business and how to talk to people, how to, you know, then that's where I feel you lose.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that's a big difference that we've both gone through, because we both lived, I want to say, the high life. Not high in drugs. I'm saying like high in, like, you know, we had cars, we had the toys, we were eligible bachelors, maybe.
Yeah.
You had a relationship, but we were bachelors. You're having fun, you're making money.
Right.
You think you're on top of the world, and all of a sudden shit hits you, and you got to figure it out.
Yeah,
so you have to make a lot of changes.
You have to get down and dirty. You have to, you know, you have to be able to show the staff that, you know, you're willing to do anything. And that to them is just, you know, at least you got to lead by example. That's the most important.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I have no problem washing dishes.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Yeah. I'll do whatever.
I remember calling you. It's like, oh, where are you going? It's like, oh, I'm on my way to knowing how to clean some dishes.
To wash dishes, yeah.
I know. And, you know,
but those are things, obviously, like, we joke and laugh about it. You know, you're driving your Lamborghini into your store, right, to wash dishes or do work, and I'm driving my Range Rover and whatever else to wash dishes, and you're like, okay, you know. Yeah. I don't want to say it's a joke. I'm just saying it as a general term. Like, everybody thinks that you're making buku money and you're killing it and you don't have to do anything and you don't have to put the effort in. But like, no,
but you do. And you know, it's just people don't usually, they see the ending but never see the beginning. You know, all the stuff that we have to do, all the hours that you put in to be where we're at now. So it's good that, you know, the people that are there still see that, like, hey, I'm still the same hard worker. I'm still the same person, you know, when I first opened this. So,
yeah, I think people need to understand that, because I run into, and you probably do too, like, you run into a lot of people that see you and they think like, oh my God, you're doing amazing. You're doing this, you're doing that. Yeah, dude, but this sucks. I mean, I used to joke around, like, everybody ran, oh, how's Lake Nona doing? I don't want you to ask. I mean, I think I repeated that like 20 times, but we joked, we talked about it. Yeah. Like, people don't know it.
That's the last thing we want to talk about.
It's almost like we should have a support system for restauranteurs with a psychologist in tow.
Yes, we should have that 100%.
Yeah, because it's like it's a daddy, mommy, and restaurant issue.
No, it is. You know, and I wish a lot of people would see, you know, more of the insight and what we're dealing with on a day-to-day. I think it should be mandatory for...
I think it should be mandatory for everybody should have a restaurant job before they have any other job.
Yes.
I think it should be mandatory because when you start dealing with people,
then you understand,
customers that are looking for food and they're hangry all the time, or not hangry, but they want an experience, and it's very specific, man.
I know. I think it should be mandatory, at least a month to work in the service industry.
What do you think, Vic?
I think so, yeah.
You've done it? Yeah. Jenna's done it. Oh, you're still doing it. That's right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody should do that.
Yeah, it will definitely give a different perspective. Hopefully.
On life.
On life.
On your whole life. On your whole life. Yeah. Well, man, thank you for your time.
Oh, of course. Thank you.
Thanks for coming in. I know this is special.
I know.
For you leaving your pattern, your structured day.
Stepping out of my cave.
Yeah, stepping out of your cave and coming.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.